Hey guys, Ron here. Welcome back to yet another deck profile, actually. Today we've got a silly one because I play a funny, goofy alien mommy deck. And also I don't actually have all the cards to play it the way I want to play it, but I'll explain that as we go because it's weird. So, first and foremost, let's get into the deck. Starter, we've got this one, Gravidia Dellen, hollow, shiny. It's Gravidia, and I am running the Gravidia Radline. Kind of sounds silly, but it helps me search out my meteors because I'm running what I would like to think is less than normal, and then off of this I'm drawing cards because or singular card. I know it's not perfect, and technically like the ideal ride line is the cardinal ride line for Orphis, but that's just not how I want to play it. Like I said, I play it a funny way because I want to play it the way I want to play it, so it is what it is. I like those. They fit the theme. They fit the playstyle, I guess. So for our main boss unit, we've got Gravidia Nordlinger SP. It was like $8, very worth. So this is your main card draw engine as well as your main kill unit because it is a 28k turn 3 with a crit if you really need it to be, and typically you do because you want to kill hard and fast. So then getting into the main deck, we've got 3 more of Gravidia Nordlinger because duh, why wouldn't you want a Persona Ride? She's just way too good. I mean, literally, like, Counterblast 1, or rather, when placed on Vanguard Circle, will get 2 meteorites. Meteorites. Like, that alone is like a draw 2 for free, and that's just so good that why wouldn't you want to run it? So this card I'm actually gonna leave face down for now because that's the card where I don't have the card I would like to play, but I still could play the card that it is, so we'll get to that in a bit. Getting into our grade 2s, we have Combine Rusher. Gravidia's rear guards are lacking in numbers, so Combine Rusher being 20k on its own, 30k on a Persona Ride turn is very good, as well as it is a part of the combo I'm playing where I'm running Gravidia Marut, which says when this unit attacks, choose up to 1 meteorite card from your hand, put it to your order zone. If you put a card, this unit gets power plus 5,000. Why is that important? Combo. Right here. This is the silliest thing. This boy says auto drop zone. When the set order you played from your hand is put into your order zone, counterblast 1 to call this card. It's a little roundabout, but basically the idea is you can, in fact, get 4 attacks in Gravidia. And given the fact that one of those attacks is going to be Combine Rusher, during a Persona Ride turn, he's 30k on his own, like I said, 38k if you boost him. It just helps make those bigger numbers. So then we've got 4 perfect guards. One of these is supposed to be Elementaria, but I only have 1, and that is currently in my Leonord deck. Wow, Leonord deck with an E, not an I. Pretty self-explanatory. You don't want to die. 3 Bubble Main. You don't want to run out of counter charge, and he does help fuel soul in the early game, especially when you play an order on your grade 2 turn called Combine from your drop zone, and then you can drop this bad boy, pushing Combine to an 18k, and then counter charge and soul charge off of it. So then getting into the orders, we've got 6 total grade 1 meteorites. This is your main draw off of your Vanguard, so I'm thinking first ride, second ride, third ride if I get extremely unlucky. That was my whole concept with running meteorites and the way I wanted to do them that way. But of course, obviously, we've still got the grade 2 meteorite, which is counts as 2 meteorites when you retire it for your Vanguard's cost, as well as you can bind it to retire a second rearguard from your opponent. Lastly, because you want Persona Ride numbers 1 Gratias Gradale, which I think I will be switching out for the anti-OT Blitz order when that comes out, because that'll be better for us. Then 4 heal triggers. I mean, it's a heal trigger. Oh, never heard of that before. This one I'm back and forth on, but 4 draw triggers right now because I prefer having the card draw of a draw trigger as opposed to a front. Especially like on a double trigger turn, it can accidentally kill you, and that's part of where this card comes in, but we'll get there. 4 to soul crits. You don't have to run to soul crits, you just have to run crits. I just happen to have those because I played Ava into the Springfest season. 3 other crits. Excuse me. Star Aggression Dragon is who I went with. I think he looks dope, and he definitely fits the theme of the deck, as well as he's just cool looking. And of course, Brandgate Overtrigger Eldo Breath, because on your double trigger turns, Eldo Breath ends the game, period. So then let's get into this card. So this card right now, as it stands, is Bakubirito, which is a solid Soul Blast 1, choose a meteorite from your drop zone, put it to order zone, and then plus 5k, so 18k beater, as well as crit plus 1. Problem: this deck goes through meteorites super fast. Secondary problem: I actually found that against Ava, Gravidia, Ava, Gandiva, Zorga even, just some of the matches I've played with this deck, you can't actually get the retire 3 for his additional crit, because what she says is during your turn, if your opponent's rearguard was retired, this unit gets power plus 5k. And then if 3 or more were retired, crit plus 1. So I'm finding myself less and less able to get the crits, but she is still amazing value for the putting of meteorites from drop zone to your to your order zone, right? So the card I was planning on replacing it with is Shurgo. And why Shurgo? Shurgo can be up to a 25k beater on his own while returning orders, specifically meteorites, from your drop zone to your deck. And I enjoy the idea of Shurgo in this deck, simply because it actually does come up quite a bit. Specifically, the fact that I am running the multi-attack engine makes it just so much easier to want to have Shurgo. So anyways, I'm going to pause quickly and do something that I had intended to do with the past deck profile, where I just kind of do a fake game idea real quick, so we'll just do that real quick. Alright, thank you for waiting ever so patiently, even though you didn't have to wait. We're going to roll a dice. This is the lowest, second lowest, third lowest, and the highest. This is me, and this is the opponent. So I will be going first in this scenario. So first and foremost, there's the Vanguard. First hand, looking quite bad. So what we want to do is we want to keep that Combine Rusher and just ditch everything else, because we're trying to see one grade 1 order early game. And wow, trigger time. We're gonna have so much fun with that. Sorry if you guys hear clicking and scratching. My cat is actually going ham right next to me, so we'll see what he chooses to do with his life. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Anyways, so then as you can see, first 5, we will stand and draw. Got another crit, so we're actually in a scenario where we want to just ditch Combine Rusher, because this is all early game guard material, and we ride our Gravidia Wells. Gravidia Wells' skill activates, and we will check the top 7 for a meteorite. As you can see, we whiffed it, but that's why we mulled hard for a meteorite. Crazy enough, It sounds dumb, but sometimes it is just way better to actually be able to have the cardinal ride line, because you basically guarantee turn one that you will have one of the orders, but then sometimes with specific orders you can't have other things in your order zone, and so you can't play a meteorite turn one, like I'm going to. So I'm going to play one meteorite and use its ability to soul charge one, and then pass turn, because we're not doing anything else this turn. We're just gonna do what we want. So because we have Combine and Drop Zone and only 4 cards in hand, there is a chance that, let's say we're against Zorga, they won't damage deny us most of the time, because Zorga wants to deal damage fast, hard, all that stuff. So we're going to take a damage, and if we get a meteorite off of our draw for turn, or draw for our grade 2, because we will have the 3 soul to soul blast, we will want to play it and then call Combine. So take the damage. Let's say they got a crit. I don't know. Oh wow, no, we got a crit. So we stand and we draw. Oh, we see a second Combine. This guy's silly, so we're actually just gonna get rid of the second Combine, because yeah, why wouldn't we? So we ride our grade 2. Its ability happens on place, Soul Blast 3. Draw a card, and we don't see a meteorite, so we just have good guard material, and this unit has power plus 5k. So then we're not going to do much else. We're just going to swing 15,000 at the opponent, turn 2. Either if they have a rear guard, we probably don't want to bother, because, yeah, unless it's a pesky rear guard that you do want to bother with, but that's up to personal choice. So then drive check, meteorite. So that's good for our later turns. So let's say they ride up, they call Shadow Cloak, we guard the Vanguard attack. We guard they got a trigger. We still guard the Shadow Cloak, because yeah. So then stand and draw, and we're in an okay-ish scenario. We don't really need Bulbamine, so we're actually just going to discard him and ride our Gravidia Nordlinger. So Gravidia Nordlinger's ability activates, and as you can see, the deck was not stacked in my favor. There are all sorts of good things at the bottom, and then towards the top there's just a little bit of something. The deck is decently stacked, but we want it to be stacked better, so we're actually going to avoid doing this kind of shuffle, because this really clumps things together, because this right here is the superior shuffle, unless you do it too much. So we're going to cut our own deck, because we're cool, and then because these were placed by Vanguard ability, we're going to soul charge 1, and then because it was placed by a Vanguard ability, draw a card, and then do the second one. Wow, there goes 2 sure goes. But now we have a Persona ride for next turn. And then since they were placed by my Vanguard's ability, I can still play an order. So I'll play that, and then counterblast 1 for the Combine from Drop Zone and call it. And so that's pretty much already just like we're set up. We're not going to have a lot of attacks, but we will swing with Vanguard's skill, counterblast 1, do this, so that way it gains 15k and a crit. Make it more menacing as early as possible. Drive checks, draw trigger, again, like kind of suffering in hand, so draw triggers always feel nicer. Power to the rear guard, and critical trigger if they guarded my Vanguard. Now my rear guard is too critical, so I will swing with the rear guard. So we're looking pretty nice, you know. Obviously we're not in the best scenario. Let's take a damage, 2 damage, 3 damage. Oh, it's a heal trigger, so we heal. I don't know, we're against Zorga Masks, so we're probably still going to have to guard some stuff. Since we have 2 Nordlingers, I'm actually going to get rid of that. Guard with that too, because Zorga Masks is nothing to laugh at. So then we're going to stand and draw. Sweet, we're in a decent scenario. I think the best case scenario would be if that was actually a meteorite, so I'm going to pretend like it was. Oops, wow, yeah, that was amazing. And then because my Vanguard was placed, I will grab 2 meteorites from here. Boom. Then, like I said, Shurgo is absolutely the way I want to go with this deck, because I would already be able to put back, what, 3 or 2? Just the 2 so far, but still. So then, because placed by Vanguard ability, Soul Charge, draw, Soul Charge, draw. And you can see that we're actually in a not so amazing scenario. And I did just realize that I had the double draw off of that and I didn't have to freak out about it, but we're going to place this by our normal ability, so now we're decent in our orders and we're looking snotty. And then we're going to call this. So we have persona ride numbers, which means what we want to do is first and foremost swing with Vanguard. Let's just say we're going all in this turn because we know we're going to put another 2 to our order zone. So we go 5 and double triggers. So first check, draw, drawing 1, power, drawing 1 because it activates twice. Second check, no trigger, but we put the power to both of our rear guards. So now we can swing. This is actually we would put both powers here. We can swing with Persona Ride. This is 30k. Swing with Persona Ride. Use its ability to put that to our order zone. Use Combine Rusher from the drop zone to counterblast 1 and call himself over himself. So he's still going to be another 30k. But because we got the double draw trigger, this is now 15, 25 from Persona, 35 from one draw trigger, 45 from the second draw trigger. If it was a critical trigger, it would have been so much better. If it was a front, it really wouldn't have done much, because this would have just gained 20, this would have gained 20. Wow, that would have been really scary, but draw triggers do help sometimes. And then the biggest reason we want Shurgo is because of this right here, as our deck is already looking thin. So then swing, this is also 30k. And as you can see, next turn I don't really have a Shurgo. They kind of both went to my soul. But yeah, that's pretty much the idea for the deck. I really think that this multi-attack combo is the current way to play Gravidia because it just feels better. Because in the other ways, like your opponent can very easily just say, well, I've only got 2 rear guards. I'm going to play around what you're doing, so yeah, good luck with that. And then you're just like, oh, well, actually, could you call more rear guards? And there's no way to force more rear guards to the field because, crazily enough, this isn't Mega Colony Battler S.deck. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I want to say one last thing. I think the Gravidia art is so cool. Like, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but these things are so cool. And you might just be thinking, hot alien mommy, that's the only reason. It's one of the main reasons, but she resembles one of my other favorite units in the game, so I think I have plenty of reason to love this creature. Hopefully in the next set she will get some support, maybe a mask form, or maybe just a more natural way to get multi-attack, or something else that the deck might need, like rearguard with bigger power that is not Shurgo, because Shurgo being a 25k beater is good, but not perfect. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.